is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. I'm officially married. That was fantastic. Such a great time at our wedding. We just got back from our honeymoon. We ended up going to the Bahamas and Mexico, and it was just a fantastic time. Nothing but good times, laughs, smiles, happiness, all that good stuff. That woman is for sure my person. Anyways, we are back in here. I want to start getting the Civic ready to drop the engine in. Not because I'm going to be getting it running anytime soon, because I still have to save up for the ECU, but just simply because I want to get the engine in it at some point, and then we can just sit and wait until I save up enough money to get the standalone ECU and harness. Still looking for one of those. If any of you guys know somebody selling one, an AEM Infinity V2 and or a J-Swap harness to run an AEM Infinity, or really any other standalone ECU system for a J-Series. If you guys know anybody selling one with a harness or anything like that, please let me know. Please, 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 because I need one badly. That's the only thing I need still to get this thing running. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and get the bumper back on, fenders back on, headlights in. I got to make sure they'll fit. I might have to cut these guys, but yeah, just get the front end looking like a car again, so that way we can at some point get a hoist over here, grab the engine, and set it down inside the engine bay. And then from there, we will wait. So yeah, without any further ado, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get started on this thing, and we'll knock her out. All right, so you can see already, maybe if you can see, don't know if you can see, but I can see already where that headlight is going to be hitting at on the hood pin. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my Dremel and cut that guy down quite a bit, actually, to just make plenty of room for this headlight to go in there, and we'll be able to get these guys on. All right, guys, so I got my hood pin in the vise here. I got my little line on it where I need to cut it off at. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the Dremel and get to cutting on it. See how hard this metal is. I got a feeling it's gonna be pretty tough to cut through, but let's see. Nice, we broke the disc somehow. That guy off there and try again. The fresh new one. Okay, looks like it's about as good as it's gonna get, so let's go ahead and try. Knock that guy off there. It's pretty hot, fair warning. Wouldn't try that at home, kids. Cool, so now we can take it over to the grinder. We'll go ahead and clean the top of that guy up so we can still get the nut on it, and then we'll put it back on and see what it looks like. Alright guys, so now I got what I'd call a starter thread on there, so now I should be able to thread the nut right onto that, no problem. So we'll go ahead and give it a try. Alright, so we got that little cone on there. That'll just help the nut start on, so let's make sure. Oh yeah, look at that. No problem at all. So go ahead and reinstall this guy and repeat the process on the second one. Alright guys, so I got both sides cut down nice and short. So now the headlights should have no problem at all clearing those, so now we can grab the headlights, put them in, and continue on. guys, the headlights are in, both bolted down nice and tight. So now we can go ahead and move on to the fenders. Alright guys, got it all together, but you can see here the hood is still sitting up too high, so I'm going to adjust the hood pins because both sides are too high. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and lower those hood pins down a little bit, try to get that hood to come down and look a little bit more natural on there, and then we'll be good to go. Alright guys, got the front end all buttoned up, and man, it looks good. I cannot wait to drop the engine in that thing and see it with that engine sticking up, because she's going to be pretty. And make some power. Can't wait to see what it puts down. But yeah, we're all done here for tonight, guys. That's all I really wanted to get done at the moment. Now I can get a cherry picker from somebody and drop that thing in there, and then yeah, we'll be cruising. What is up, guys, and welcome back. I finally got these AutoPlumb fittings in for my radiator. So what these do is they'll actually convert the inlet and the outlet for the radiator to a -16 fitting without having to weld anything. I don't know if you guys remember or not, but this radiator actually has plastic inlets and outlets, or a plastic inlet and a plastic outlet, so you obviously cannot weld on that anyways. So I actually got these that Becky's dad Mike actually told me about, and they just clamp over the flange and then yeah, converts it to an AN fitting. So we're gonna go ahead and install these guys. Seems pretty straightforward, but I do not have an AN wrench, and I also don't have a crescent wrench big enough to fit around this. I'm gonna have to run to the store so I can get an AN wrench or a bigger crescent wrench that I can use to actually put them on. But we'll go ahead and get started. We'll get the threads going, and then I'll run up to the store and get something for that. So yeah, I'll show you guys how they go. Again, pretty straightforward. All right, hopefully you guys can see that all right. So I took the fitting apart. So this piece that actually screws onto it goes on the flange first, and then there is a metal ring that goes inside of that helps push the gasket on. So it doesn't quite fit over the lip of this, so I just got a flathead screwdriver to see if I can help expand it a little bit, just to force it over. It should go on there, a little bit of help. Maybe. Because I probably could have gotten away with one size bigger on these fittings because they come in all different sizes for all different size radiators, but that'll work out just fine. So now, inside of the actual clamp piece, there's a rubber gasket, so that'll go on. It'll just sit right over on the inside of the lip on the flange. Maybe like that. And then now we can actually put the face of it on there, and we can start threading it on. They recommend that you lube up that rubber gasket a little bit with something, but well, actually I guess when I go to the store I could probably get something to lube it up with. But yeah, and we'll just go ahead and tighten it down on there, make sure it's good and snug. They recommend that you don't want to see any of these threads showing, so you got to get it pretty good and tight. So again, I got to go to the store and get a AN wrench, and then I got my strap wrench here to actually hold the back piece. They gave us a little piece of sandpaper that you wrap around that, so that that'll help grip with this, and then you can tighten this all the way down with the AN wrench. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and run to the store real quick. I'll grab an AN wrench or just a large crescent wrench for that, and maybe some lube for these threads, because I don't want to get it on there so tight that I can't get it back off ever. So yeah, we'll resume this when I get back from the store. I am back. It's now been a couple of days, so none of the local parts store had any AN wrenches. Obviously nobody sells them as it turns out, so I ended up just ordering them on Amazon, so I just got that. So I ended up getting this adjustable crescent wrench type one, so this one should work perfectly for what we need. I also got some grease and a little bit of silicone so we can actually put this thing together the way we're supposed to, and that should make it a lot easier to actually get it all on. So I'm actually going to take this rubber seal back off of the water neck here, so that way I can put the silicone on it, so we can make sure that it slides into the actual body piece as it should, smoothly, so that way we don't have any issues trying to get it all the way tight, because the last thing I want is to have a leak once we get it together. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can't get this guy off here. There we go. It fits super tight. Alright, so I'll grab got this Ultimate Black Gasket Maker, basically just silicone that we're going to go ahead and use. So we're going to apply it all over this seal, outside, inside, everywhere. That way it'll help just kind of lubricate it so it can slide in where it needs to as smoothly as possible. So we'll go ahead and make a mess out of this stuff. Apply it everywhere that we can. There's my wife. Get this thing all over it. Nice and covered. This will also make sure that the seal's completely sealed when we go to actually put it all together. You'll notice there's a bevel side and a flat side on that, so the bevel side goes towards the outside, and that should fit right inside the body. Like that. I'm gonna go wipe my hands off. Alright, so now get that pulled all the way out where we need it to be. Kind of wipe this off just a little bit. Okay, now we're gonna take a little bit of grease. We're gonna put it on these threads here, so that way we can make it the actual piece of thread onto it as easy as possible. Don't need very much. I'm just gonna do a tiny little dab of it on there like that. It should be plenty, more than enough, honestly. Okay, so now we'll stick this over. Boom. And we'll start threading this back plate on. And we're gonna get it as tight as we possibly can by hand before we start using the other wrenches. Now that I got grease all over my fingers, that should be not very tight, I imagine. Hands off. I will say it's going on much smoother this time around. Now that everything's lubricated the way it should be. Okay, it's about as tight as I can get it by hand. So now I'm going to take my, actually it came with a little piece of what looks like skateboard grip tape that you put around the actual back piece, so you can use a strap wrench like this to hold on to it. So I'm going to go grab that, we'll put it around the back piece, and then we'll crank this thing all the way down. Alright, so we got that piece of grip tape wrapped around there. So now I can go ahead and put the strap wrench on it, and that'll hold the grip tape, and then we can use the AN wrench to actually tighten that fitting all the way down. We don't want any thread showing. I know there is a slight tolerance in how much threads can be showing for it to be okay, but we're going to go ahead and try to crank this thing all the way down. And that fitting is all the way on. we're good to go. So now we're just gonna do the bottom one and we'll be done. All right, guys, we got both fittings on there now. Got the AutoPlumb turned up on both of them just so you can see it. And yeah, now we got to sit for 24 hours before we put any fluid through them, which obviously isn't going to be a problem here because we ain't going to be putting any fluid in there for who knows how long. But I got a big update, actually. Yesterday I ordered the jumper harness to run the AEM Infinity 506 standalone fuel system, or standalone engine control system. So I just got to order that now, unless any of you guys know anybody selling an AEM Infinity 506 standalone system. That's all I really need now. And then once I get that, I can go ahead and put everything back together, schedule a tune, and then we can get this thing on the road. So yeah, that's pretty much the only thing holding me back at this point. So once that harness piece gets delivered, I can go ahead and start pulling wires out from inside the car, get rid of the factory ECU, get rid of the immobilizer, all of that good stuff, and get it prepped and ready for the new ECU. So super excited about that. Got a really good deal on it. Actually from, his name is Jason D. Vickery. His Instagram is Eaton Accord. So if you guys would go ahead and give him a follow, be much appreciated. So thank you again, Jason, for that. It'll be put to very good use here with this car. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for this video. Everything's pretty much done for right now. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.